Valley, and it is right next to EGD. And it is my understanding that there's not one air monitor in all of Nana Valley. We have not gotten one word the past 2 nights with, see, I knew it was going to go away. That's why I came up here and asked your Department of Health. We need to know why there is no air monitoring in Nana Valley Estates with 600 plus homes there, right within 2 miles of EGD, and we have been watching the past 2 nights as the lava has approached EGD, and we've not gotten one word from anybody about the people in Nana Valley.
Okay, thanks for your question, ma'am. Thanks for your question. That's a common question. I took a lot of calls today, and there's a lot of questions, okay?
You did not even know there was a back gate to Nana Valley, so I'm very sorry, but we have to speak up and know for ourselves.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your questions. So the team that is here is rounding this area with monitors, both SO2 and H2S. When the project is completed, that information will be shared with the public. But we want to make sure that, it's accurate and it is, posted where you guys can get it. It'll be web-based and you guys will see that information. As far as Railroad Avenue is prepped. It's ready for when we need it. Yes, the gates are still up because we don't want people driving on it and then wearing it out. It's not going to be, road at this time, but for emergency use, if Nana Valley needs access to get to Hawaiian beaches and further on, that road will be open. The Public Works is on board, and they've got staff that live in the area that can open that road right away. All right, so the evacuation status, so we've got several neighborhood streets that are under evacuation status. Lani Puna, Hali Kamahina, Kamaili, Alaili Road, and then you saw also the bigger subdivisions in Leilani. Right now we're operating from 7 to 6, access into Leilani to retrieve your possessions, take care of your animals. We know people are staying there overnight, but you heard from the geologists, the volcanologists, how unstable the situation is. And I'll go over our messaging, our alert systems and so forth a little bit later, but, the area is still unstable. You guys need to be aware of what's going on. We've got one siren in Leilani Estates to let you guys know. You got to make sure that you're hooked up to our regular other systems as well. So, for the rest of the areas that I mentioned, same thing for you guys. If you need to go in there, if you need access, contact my office, 935-0031, Civil Defense, and we'll set up escort into these areas to get you in, to see what the status is. Currently, Public Works, other civil defense, I know other church groups, service groups, are helping the people in the last inundations down off Malamaki up on Puhiki Road. So as I said, you're in there, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be getting our messages, you gotta be aware, use your senses also as to what's going on, what's changing. You gotta be ready to evacuate. We've had a number of instances where we had to get people out at a sudden notice. We've had people get stuck in there. I know you guys are going off-road to access your properties, and you're making it tough for us. You got to do what you got to do. We're going to help you out if you get stuck, but be aware of your senses. Make good choices. Also, I know right now businesses are down, but we need vacation rentals to cease, especially in the Lower Puna area. Water Department is working on reactivating that well that's on Green Lake that Green Lake pool. But until that time, you're pretty much restricted to the tankers you got hooked up there, or the potable water tankers that the county's providing. So, be aware of that. And it's not a safe place to bring tourists into at this time. It's too unstable. They don't know the area. Those are the people who are going to get in trouble. Okay, as I mentioned, the notification system. We've got one siren in the Leilani Estates, right in the center. If a vent opened up there, that thing would be gone. Then we'd have to rely on our messaging system. So that includes, first off, what we provide through Hawaii County Civil Defense. It's called a Blackboard system or program. You go onto our website. It's a voluntary system. You access our site. You can sign up. If you have problems signing up, call our office. We got people that can sign you up. What that does is it'll give you a text message or phone call on a landline, but it'll give a text message, web, email. Also, it updates all our social media. Also, what we do is, in conjunction with that, we'll put out our messages on the radio. So you guys all know, I hope, if the siren goes off, the action you're supposed to take is to turn on your radio. We'll provide a radio message at the same time that we put out that siren so that you can turn on your radio and listen to directions, whether it is shelter in place or if you need to evacuate. Thought I heard a question. Well, we'll save that question for later. I'll be on the side. You guys can come up to me. Personal preparedness. Personal preparedness. Make sure you guys have your escape plans. It relates to the question I just got. Right? You get our alert. You need to be ready to go. That means you need your important papers, whatever you need to take with you. If you're going to grab your animals or any goods, make sure you got to take them with you. As far as response, as soon as we get a reading in the monitors, I can answer your question if you. Excuse me. We're not going to kick you out. Okay. All we want to do is we're going to answer all your questions, but we want to be able to give the general, all of you here, in regards to the most important questions or information possible. We're not trying to not answer your questions, but let's just follow the agenda. We're going to be here. We're going to be here to answer your questions. You have individual specific questions. Let's move on to the agenda first. And after that, we're going to answer your questions, okay? If it's on the side, it's on the side. We'll be here until 6:30 if you want. Okay, thank you. Hawaiian Volcano Observatory reports eruption activity continues in the lower east rift zone. The middle portion of the fissure system continues to be the most active. There are 3 lava flows entering the ocean between Pohoiki Bay and Mackenzie State Park. Lava eruption continues in the area of Leilani Estates and Lani Puna Gardens from Fissure 22, which is feeding the 2 other ocean entries. Fissure 7 reactivated this morning and is actively fountaining lava. The flow is moving towards the east into Leilani Estates. It has covered Kaupili and Mohala streets between Leilani Avenue and the fissure line. Due to frequent ash emissions at the Kilauea summit and increased sulfur dioxide emissions, residents should take action to limit exposure. Due to the volcanic activity, the following policies are in effect. Be aware of the lace hazard and stay away from any ocean plume. Residents downrift of the lava flows should be prepared to voluntarily evacuate at a moment's notice. For more information about the ocean entries and the most up-to-date maps, visit the USGS Hawaiian Volcanoes Observatory's website. Residents can learn more about current sulfur dioxide emission levels and forecasts by visiting the University of Hawaii's Fog Measurement and Prediction Project website. Due to the current activity, stay alert to messages issued by Civil Defense. We are on watch 24 hours a day for your safety. This is your Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency. Hawaiian Volcano Observatory reports a New lava flow is expected to enter the ocean east of Mackenzie State Park. Eruption activity continues in the lower East Rift Zone. The middle portion of the fissure system is the most active, with flows and ground cracking in the area of Leilani Estates and Lani Puna Garden. Due to volcanic activity, information on Puna geothermal venture is provided for your awareness. The situation remains stable as lava has not encroached further onto PGV property. County, state, and federal crews are on the scene and monitoring for sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. There is no hydrogen sulfide detected at this time. Frequent ash emissions continue at the Kilauea summit. Take action to avoid exposure to ash. To help our residents, we are distributing free masks for ash protection. Distribution runs tonight through Friday from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Masks will be distributed at Ocean View Community Center, Na'aleu Community Center, Pahala Community Center, Cooper Center, and Shipman Gym in KL. Each person may receive up to 3 masks. Masks do not protect against gases and vapors. They will only provide filtering for ash. Due to the current activity, residents downrift should be prepared to voluntarily evacuate at a moment's notice. Stay alert to messages issued by Civil Defense. We are on watch 24 hours a day for your safety. This is your Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency.
It's ever changing. You just don't know what to expect from one day to the next. Yesterday it was 2 small fountains of lava just shooting up, and one smaller one, the one closest over here was a little bit taller, and it was just one continuous fountain shooting up, and then you come down here today and it's like undescribable. I mean, it's like I can't even tell you how high that's getting into the air, but it's got to be 300 feet. And yesterday they were probably max of about maybe 100 feet, between 75 and 100 feet. So today they increased volume with those 2 going on simultaneously, and it looks like they're basically in the same spot, except they're just so huge. It's really hard to gauge exactly where they were yesterday, but it appears to be pretty much in the same place.
Oh, we just saw a phenomenal fountain at the end of Kahakai Street. It's the end now because the lava rolled across it, wiping out the entire northeast section of Leilani Estates. The fountains we're going is between 6, 19, 22. The fissures now are all just rolling into one another, and they're shooting hundreds of feet in the air. Kahukai intersected with Pohoiki, and that intersection is no longer there. It's gone. It's covered with lava. And the other, if you turn to the right, that was the edge of Leilani Estates. That whole, there's a couple of streets that came off of it, all gone. I mean, right now it's a lava lake. The closest residence from the edge of the lava was within 75 feet of the edge of the lava flow, and a lot of the photographers were staying overnight there with the owner's permission, saying that within 24 hours that home could be demolished.
I wished it would end so we could get back home into our homes. That's exactly what I would. And nobody else lose their homes. I mean, this is beautiful to look at, but it is destructive for a lot of people who have homes down here on the bottom. We have a dog that has respiratory problems, so we come down during the day just to have a sense of normalcy, cut the grass, take care of the yard, fix dinner, and then we go back to the senior citizen center at Pahoa.
On my sulfur dioxide ratings that we got from the Hawaii Fire Department, it was about 1 to 0.3, fluctuating with the wind. It stayed relatively low. The winds were perfect, blowing all the sulfur dioxide over the lava lake away from us. Good for us on that side of the lava lake, but anybody on that other side of Leilani Estates and Lower Puna, they're really catching SO2. That northeast section of Leilani is within half a mile of Puna geothermal. Right, you can see it. If you just turn your head and you look, there's PGV and there's some fountains, so it's really close to one another. Yeah, the University of Hawaii Hilo does some mapping with drones that really helps Hawaii County. They fly over grid patterns over the flow, and they're able to feed that information back to Hawaii County. And every morning, they get an update from the scientists at UH Hilo, and that intelligence really helps provide information to the county so they can make decisions for the residents. The lava, just to see, it's amazing. And You just think it's the sight, but it's the smell, it's the heat that radiates off of it. It never looks the same in the fountain. And you realize that that stuff is so beautiful, but it affects people's lives. So you look at it with a grain of salt and you're like, it's beautiful, but my goodness, it's very destructive. You know, with these lava lakes and lava flows, the gases, with this much lava, there are a lot of gases out there. So please stay tuned to Hawaii County's announcements about the sulfur dioxide for your safety. The latest information is there. We want to make sure that people are safe with that gas.
Us at Hawaii Electric Light Company. This afternoon, lava did cross Highway 132. We have a power line that goes down to Kapoho, and unfortunately, the lava damaged that power line, and customers down at Kapoho are without power right now. At this time, we do not have plans to try and go and make repairs along Highway 132. The situation with the lava is too unpredictable. We have generators on island, but we're not deploying just yet down in Kapoho. We want to make sure what the situation with the lava is before we deploy the generators. It'll take some site preparation to hook up the generators and get the particulars of the electrical system with a temporary generator set up. We want to make sure we pick the right location, not a location that the lava is going to inundate later. We have those designs and plans in the works in the generator on island. Some of you down in Kalapana, Nanavali Estates, and parts of Pahoa, and even parts of Leilani, you experienced a short power interruption yesterday. That was so that we could transfer service. You were being served by a substation along Highway 132 about a quarter of a mile down the road from the Y point. We transferred your source to another source in Ainaloa, so you're serving from a different source. Today we had to de-energize that Kapoho substation. The lava is too close, but you are being served from a different source in Ainaloa, so we got that work done yesterday. Today, the lava inundated our switching station on the PGV site. So there are no more electrical facilities on the PGV side. It's pretty much been run over by the lava. That was a little cruel. But we still have enough generation. We have enough generation from other generators. We're still maintaining all the other generation. Generation fleet is normal. We have adequate margins to continue to supply as we go through this. Thank you.
So also have folks from the telecom industry, and they'll also be here to answer your questions. Make sure you guys don't leave here. All the different partners are at their stations around the room. You see their signs. Make sure you guys don't leave here. As I say, don't leave here with any questions, because they're here specifically to answer, take care of you guys. So get your questions answered. I'm not sure if Phoenix mentioned, but we've got the N95 masks giveaway in the back. Make sure you get them. Also, so for the telecom, we've got Wally Wong from Hawaiian Tel, and Bob Kapusle from Verizon, and Steve. Let's see, Bob is from AT&T, and from Verizon is Steve Clark. So if any of those gentlemen need to come up and mention anything, now's your time. Otherwise, we'll move on. Okay, Wally Wong from Hawaiian Tel.
Aloha kako. Hey, so I'm with Hawaiian Telecom, as you know, and we're trying our best to keep communications open. Right now, our focus is on Highway 130 and Highway 132, because that's our fiber feeds, and from there we branch off to the different subdivisions. So as you know, 132 has been compromised right now. So we have a solution where we're going to try to use radios to connect services across the lava. And right now, we're just waiting for the flow front to kind of settle down to determine where we're going to connect at the top and where we're going to find a section on the bottom that we can connect to. So that's what we're doing for Highway 132. So we can, our concern there is, and priority is to keep the cell service up, as well as taking care of the people down in Kapoho Beach. But mainly the cell service communications, they want to keep that up because everybody's using it, especially our first responders. So that's what we're working on right now. And if you guys have any questions, you can see me in the back. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. My name is Ron Whitmore. I'm with the Department of Research and Development with the County of Hawaii. We've been working closely with all the telecom providers. The reason Verizon, AT&T guys probably aren't here tonight because they're actively working in the field to restore service. In simple terms, their cell service is dependent on power, the Helco lines, as well as on the Hawaiian Tel lines. So when lava crossed 132 today, both those went down. But there are multiple contingency plans in place that they're working very hard right now to put in place. It's partially a function of what Wally guys are doing with Hawaiian Tel, but there's also other microwave and satellite options they can use to restore signal, and generators on island they can use to restore power. So they're working very hard to restore your cell and internet service as quickly as possible.
So a key component of the telecom is our messaging. So make sure if you haven't already, sign up for Civil Defense Blackboard messaging. If you don't have a cell phone or you don't have connectivity, make sure you got a radio that you can listen to local stations that we push our messages out on. So I'll give the mayor one last shot at this before we close. Sorry, can't forget water, right? So for our water supply, Keith Okamoto.
Work continues on our Kapoho well. It's going fairly smoothly. We have a few more pieces of equipment to install, and so we're looking at maybe about 2 to 3 more days, and we'll have that putting water into the system. And that will get water to the vacation land, beach lots along the Makai areas. We still need people to conserve and use water wisely to make sure that this source can go as far for as long as it possibly can. And again, we'll be on the side if there's any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Please make use of the stations. I know I started on a kind of a down, who can not be down on such a hard time for you, but I was looking at my list. But before that, I want to introduce one man that I think many of you have known out on the field. He's the head of the Public Works roadway for the island. I know he's been out there all the time, so how about a hand for Neil Azevedo? That's the man with the bald head. Thank you, Neil. And I'm looking at those names, and this is real. Thomas Magno, as you guys know, I coached him football when he was 14. The president of Hawaiian Electric Light Company in high school, damn good quarterback. Fullback. General Hara, I coached him football in Waikea. Neil Azevedo, he was my captain from Waikea, but also I coached him in Pop Warner at 9 years old. My goodness, don't ask anybody how old I am. But in closing, for me, I really mean it. We will get through this. We can't, there's a man from FEMA that I will always remember because it is so true. I think you can see we made a rule from day one, and I promise you this was the rule. We will call every single source we can to help us go through this and minimize harm. They were all told 100% of every single decision will be made in consideration of you and never of politics, and we will keep that promise. Thank you very much for tonight.
Okay, just a reminder, our Recovery Information Center is open at the Poa Community Center, Monday through Friday, 9 to 3. Make sure you go hit them up for any of your needs. Also, just a reminder that folks getting to Leilani, you got to be in there by 10. Thank you.